I didn't think I'd ever watch All Dogs Go to Heaven too, because the first film is just a little bit too emotional for my liking. But then I realised Bebe Neuwirth voices one of the characters. She voices a character called Annabelle. And I realised I'm probably going to have to watch it because I'm trying to watch every feature film that the main Cheers cast were in. And I thought, let's give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? It wasn't actually that emotional. There were moments, but compared to the first film, it wasn't quite as traumatizing. So it definitely isn't too bad. If, like me, you watched the first film, value it, but also never want to watch it again, this one isn't as emotional, but it's still pretty decent. It was released in 1996. It's directed by Larry Laker and Paul Sabella, with a screenplay by Arnie Olsen, Kelly Ward, and Mark Young. And we have a voice cast including, of course, Bebe Neuwirth. We also have Charlie Sheen and Dom DeLuise and Dan Castellaneta, Jim Cummings, Wallace Shawn, Kevin Michael Richardson. Fabulous voice cast. Obviously, no issues there at all. And one of the dogs has stolen Gabriel's horn, and it ends up back on Earth in San Francisco. And Charlie and Itchy are sent down to Earth to try and retrieve it. And while they're on this journey, they meet a young boy called David, who is a runaway, and he also has his own dog. And I don't want to say too much about that, but the journeys connect, and they're there to help David on his way. And I won't say too much more about the specifics of the narrative. We do have a fabulous antagonist called Red. Red is honestly terrifying. There's a song, I think it's when we first meet Red, and it is really dark and menacing. And I feel like the only song in an animation that's scarier is Scar's Be Prepared. It kind of reminded me of that in a way. They're not actually similar, but there was just something about it that reminded me of that. And it was genuinely scary. It absolutely would have terrified me as a child. And the rest of the narrative is very well done. The music is really great. We have quite a lot of songs in this, which definitely helps to keep the pacing. The film is about an hour and 20, which is honestly the ideal length for this particular narrative. The characters are great. The voice acting is great. We have, as with the first film, we have a great variety of different breeds of dogs with different personalities. David as a character I really liked as well. And as I said, it wasn't quite as emotional as I remember the first film being. I haven't seen the first film in quite a while, and I doubt I'd ever watch it again, because I remember it being very emotional. This one definitely had its moments though, but not as strong as the first film. But the narrative is still really interesting, very well done, great pacing, well written, really nice animation, absolutely no issues there either. If you watched the first film and you liked it but found it to be too heavy, I'd say this one might actually be an easier watch. So it might be worth checking out. I certainly didn't mind it. As I said, I probably never would have watched it were it not for the fact that Bebe Neuwirth voices a character. And I guess I'm glad I've seen it, because it wasn't as challenging as I thought. Not a bad film at all. If you liked the first one, I'd say All Dogs Go to Heaven too is probably worth watching.